What up, everyone? Wake My Light here. So we got Sire Denathrius down, and today I want to show you guys our kill video, as well as just give you guys a quick commentary from a Disc Priest point of view on this fight. It's a pretty long fight, so get ready for a bit of a long video, but this is pretty fun. You're gonna hear our nerd screams and everything, so hope you guys are ready to go. So main thing with this fight as a Disc Priest is you're gonna be pretty much starting this fight like right at like you're gonna start ramping right as the fight starts. You're gonna be using your ramp at the beginning for every blood price, which happens about 20 seconds in, and then about 55 to 57 seconds after that. Here we pull the boss. You see that I start ramping. It does get a little pixelated, so I'm sorry guys, best I can do. Unfortunately, this fight has so much going on that stream quality may have just gone down for a little bit. But you see here, I get decent coverage. We are running a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 man raid. So as Disc Priest, you know that you can't get like full coverage like you would in like a 20 man raid, mythic raid, but you still get pretty good coverage. So your first ramp honestly is the most important because it sets the tone and the timing of your spirit shell for the next two blood prices, whether you get it on time or not. The main one that you might miss or get little to no value out of is your third spirit shell. Generally, you have to start doing your spirit shell about between 14 and 16 seconds before blood price, so that you can get the full value. So here I call for a innervate. Actually, he gives it to me right off the bat, and we get innervate. I'll go ahead and turn sounds back on. So I get innervate, I start ramping, get spirit shells out. Pretty much you want to be spirit shelling as soon as the ads are coming out. That is your internal timer. Your spirit shell should already be started by the time ads are coming out. Here we have another blood price. This one I seem to always get like some really good value out of. One thing to keep note is you're going to see a cross here that happens from the beams. Make sure not to stand in the beams. I've died from it way too many times, but that's okay. So anyways, here we go. We're about to move over. We usually use a Stampeding War or anything just to get over. The biggest thing also to realize is that during this fight you have to watch DPS on on the boss. The boss pushes at 70.5%. So if you push too early, then you will lose a stack. You need to get down to 2 stacks on everyone. Here you see a cross right in front of us. Kook thankfully moves out of it just in time while she's in big tree form. As you can see, I get a spiritual out, but it's not great. As you hear, I get almost no value out of that. But it's enough to at least get a small bubble out there. So I had my Shadow Fiend out or Mindbender out. I had Purge on, so at a minimum, I'm getting at least, maybe 1k, maybe 2k value out of it, which is enough. Here you want to watch for anyone that has 3 stacks. Here we had 2 people that had 3 stacks. Make sure that if someone does have 3 stacks going into this, that you are looking for them, and once you get in, you're using your leap of faith immediately. If you don't do that, it's gonna be a bad news bears kind of day for you, unfortunately, or for them, and then you have to waste a B-res coming down. Here we have a Wakor that does a shing, so that's every time an ad dies, about 4 seconds into that, that's when you're gonna see something happen. Here I get hit by an impale because I'm a bad player. It happens. You want to use Spirit Shell during this phase when ads are coming out. That's the best time you're gonna get value out of it, right? So I get innervate on second blood price. I get another innervate on second ads. It lines up almost perfectly, right? So, but you want to use Spirit Shell at the very beginning of ads or ramp right before ads come out, because that's when most of your damage is going to come out. Otherwise, this phase does almost no damage. Most of your damage is going to be on the tanks. So you have to really pay attention to them. These guys get trucked constantly. Otherwise, you just need to make sure you watch for massacres, which is the big red lines. Watch for crescendos from ads dying. And this phase, honestly, is very easy. I don't think we lose anything during this part of the fight, if I remember correctly, thankfully. This is actually one of our cleanest ones that we did. Cleanest pulls that we did. I mean, we did get the kill, so that helps. We actually had like went really good up until the very end. So this racking pain is what the boss does. This is what causes the tanks to take a ton of damage. You can, as a tank, you can also aim that towards adds, and they will take damage as well. So just something to keep in mind. If you can aim it towards someone, definitely do it. Here, our goal is to kill the 2 melee adds, damage the range adds, but not to kill them, and then push boss into this phase. We have really high DPS in our group, so we're able to push this pretty easily. So here we're going into phase 3. Ideally, you want to start ramping pretty close to the beginning of this phase. So you want to be ramping as soon as possible, because you want Spirit Shell on as many people when the big hand of destruction comes out. You have a lot of damage that comes out from that. You also are going to be using barrier. Here you can see you want to put your orbs in a triangle-ish formation. You can see we have Link. I'll pop barrier down. It was probably a few seconds late, but we still lived. It's all good. As you see, there's a lot of damage that happens during this fight, and there's also just a ton of movement. You're going to find during your first few pulls, especially once you get into phase 3, that it's so hard to get your cast out, and it's really hard to get any kind of ramp going for your Spirit Shell. So just try to, anytime you get into phase 3, really try to make sure that you stay calm, you stay collected, and you see when can you find times to stop and Spirit Shell. Here you can, you'll see that I'm going to start getting ready for Spirit Shell here soon, actually, I believe. I know it's really hard to see because of pixelation, but the biggest thing here is to get all the orbs. Here I'm actually going to start Spirit Shelling right now. Right? It's probably a little bit early, but that's okay, because you're going to get so much value out of Spirit Shell no matter when you do it. You prefer to use it during Hands of Destruction, but you can also use it when you have the orbs coming out, since everyone is taking that damage. So it just really, anywhere you can get value, get the value, right? Your biggest thing is to just keep people alive. This phase has a lot going on. A lot of residual damage is also going out just constantly, right? So you can see you have more orbs coming out. Orbs in conjunction with Hand Destruction is probably your most dangerous combos out of the entire thing. Everything else, the orbs last quite some time, so you have time to go in, take care of those orbs, and go right back out. As you can see, he moves over. It's kind of a weird position, but the tanks end up moving him right in the nick of time. I use Door of Shadows to get out of there because I know that I can't really get there in time. Here, you're just trying to get as much possible. I'm doing a Spirit Shell right here. I don't really have great coverage, unfortunately, because I used a Radiance earlier, so that's a misplay on my part. But I get everyone I can. I see the tank goes down, so I put Pain Suppression on him. We're getting close to our kill, so I'll go ahead and turn him up. You're gonna see I'm gonna die right about here.
On his ass, on his ass. Push him. Push him, push him.
This is probably your most dangerous part right here. Orbs with a hand. This is pretty much your enrage time right here, right? Your goal is to not get this Hand of Destruction. You get this Hand of Destruction, it's almost a wipe. We actually end up surviving barely.
Good job, good job.
Woo! And we get the kill.
Finally.
So that's my video on Sire Denathrius. Anchors, we got our AOTC finally, so congrats to all my guildmates, and here's to pushing that mythic hard AF, guys. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.